Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I once again, Rawlings Ogie by name, the founder, by His grace, of this movement, the Lost Voice Empowerment Initiative. The reason why we are gathering here today. I want to appreciate the whole of you for making our time to grace this occasion, because we believe that the only way to get a message across to the whole world is by working with the youth. That is we, the youth of this nation, by bringing the message to your doorstep, to your hearing, and that you may help to move this message forward. This is the reason why we commenced this journey about 2 weeks ago, and this is not just holding conference like we are doing right now. As you have observed, there are so many videos already online in YouTube. You can see even some environment where some of these speech were conducted. They weren't very conducive, very perfect, but we believe that the only way to get this message to the heart of everybody is going from door to door, from street to street, from state to state, and otherwise. I want to talk strongly today concerning one of the pillars here in this manifesto. I will encourage you, those of you here and those that are watching all over the world, to get a copy of this book. This book contained every information that we need, how to make it work, the kind of nation that we want to live in, and the one that we want to leave behind for our children. What the pillar I want to treat about today is about tax paying. I'll treat about tax. And also, secondly, I'll be talking about discriminations that had brought about, the segmentizations among every Nigerians. Like I stated in part of my videos, tribalism or nepotism, it's a virus that no one wishes to have, especially a nation that wants to move forward, that want to be a great nation, like we are aspiring to have or be great people. We must do away with nepotism. Tribalism is not what we want. I should be able to love you with the whole of my heart just because you are a Nigerian. You are a human being like me. And you should do the same in reciprocal. At the time I begin to favor some group of persons just because they are my brother, or we hail from the same state, or we share the same language, there is no way I would expect growth in my society. For example, about 4 or 5 years ago, I constituted first an agency, with suckers and stuff like this. And one of my younger brother, came and said, "Bro, I would like to work with you. I got no job now. You see the way everything is, and now that it's owned by my brother, of course, I want to be, one of the big guy in one of the office and stuff like this." And I told him straight off, in presence of my mama. I said, bro, I'm sorry, I cannot give you any job right there. I said, because right now I have 3 seats, and the people that I am looking towards to occupy those 3 seats are professionals, people that are skilled for that particular assignment. And you have no idea over what I'm talking about. You don't have the information, even the base. So because of this, I cannot employ you. My mama look at me as con, but that's true. The reason is this. Why am I saying this? I refuse to give him that offer just because he doesn't possess the qualification for that seat. And this is my own blood brother. And that is how it ought to be in every nation that wants to move forward. When there is possibility for a job, it should be given to someone that possesses the information. Now, talking about tax, this will drive me to talk about our religious leaders, whether Christians, Muslims, Hindus, or whatever. Now, in our Christendom, I'm a Christian. In our Christendom, we are taught that we should pay our tithes in our churches. This is because it is biblically backed up, and we should pay our tithe in order to promote the message of God and to promote the kingdom. But what they didn't tell us or teach us is that the same way tithe is required to promote the kingdom of God and make our churches, our mosque, look beautiful and perfect, is the same way our tithe will promote the welfare of our nation. They didn't teach us that. There's nothing wrong in you paying tithes. That's not my argument today. But there's something wrong when you know how to pay tithe and you don't know how to pay tax. Because the same Bible says that he that know what is right and do it not, unto him or her is a sin. So if you know how to do one and you don't know how to do the other, you are a sinner. So I am sending this message to our religious leaders, pastors, imams, and what have you, that we should bring to the knowledge of our members in our congregations that tithe is the same as tax. Tithe is paid to God, tax should be paid to the states. There is no way we can expect to have a beautiful environment, good roads, potable water, good school, medical facilities, all of these beautiful things that we will wish to have as a Nigerian, if we are not showing or taking responsibility. There are so many things that ought to be taken into cognizance and had been abolished. They've been downplayed. That is why the roads to our churches are bad, and inside our churches are beautiful. That is why we can build 30 million and 50 million houses, and even far more than that, There are some parts in this country where you purchase a plot of land for over 700 million. And now tell me what you're going to spend to build it. But the road that leads to where that building is a mess. Even the gutters, they are without, they have no proper finishing. And all these things are contributing to the debilitating states of every Nigerian. The sickness, the choleras, diseases, malaria. So in other words, what we are doing is that we are on earth and we are building heaven. Because we're following one side of the scripture that says that we should bank to where we're going. We're on earth and we're banking in heaven, forgetting to build where we are. First, you have to make earth before you make heaven. Let's don't forget the word that says that neatness or cleanliness is next to word godliness. You can't live in a dirty environment and expect to make the kingdom of God. You must first clean the inside of you. Listen, the inside of you, and later clean the outside of you in order to receive the godly message. So the inside of you is what we are here to really talk about. The outside of you is also important in this movement, which is our environment, how to keep it tidy in the perfect states. But also let's talk about our mindset, which is the inside of us. Because I am tired of seeing Nigerians abroad looking beautiful, handsome, and looking pink and khaki, best cars and best hotels and the best dress and everything. Some of them, they come to boutique in Europe and they close the boutique down. Why in your country where you hail from or where you're coming from, the poor are the very many, while the rich are the very few? I said in one of my meetings, a family where there is only one rich man or woman, the family is still subject to abject poverty. Until that wealth is shared round, and there is majority that are doing great, the family is still indebted to suffering. So we should see how we change the mindset of our people to doing what is right at all times, and not charging people to focus on the wrong direction. There had been 101 NGOs before the Lost Voice Empowerment Initiative emerged. And at this very moment, I want to thank all the NGOs that have been fighting for youth empowerment, for equal right, for the way forward in Nigeria, on how we can live in a better society, society that's more prosperous, more secured, and more prepared to face our new challenges of the new era. I want to thank them for their effort. But one thing that they are doing that makes us different is that all the message are still referred to classifying some group of persons as the evil ones and other group of persons as the good guys. All around. Who are the bad ones and who are the good ones in Nigeria today? The bad ones are your leaders, which you yourself voted to the office that they occupy. You were very drunk when you voted them. You could have taken your time to run through their history. You didn't do that. You voted them because of 5,000 naira that is given to you at the polling booth. And some Ghana must go loaded with some millions of naira, which is bread for today, hunger for tomorrow. You sold your right for 10,000 naira for a bag of rice and a bag of salt that can only last your children for 1 month. And who is giving it to you who occupied the seat for 4 years? You were blind. And after they have gotten there, fighting to recover that money which was spent on you, you're coming up to blame them. What was the negotiation before giving them your vote? Now, who are the good ones? The good ones are the youths of Nigeria, or all the people that are not the leaders. So this is like divided into two. It's split into sections: the leaders and the people. But what we are telling us is that no one here is a saint. No one. The leaders are not perfect. You and I, the people, we are not perfect. I know you don't like me when I have to tell you like this, because you are looking for that guy that will tell you, Nigerians, you are the best, the youth. Yes, the leaders are bad. Let's go and kill them. Hey, let's go and conquer them. Oh, that's what you want to hear. But that is not the way. It's only a way of pushing you to the verge of war. It's only a way of making things worse for you and I. And who are those to benefit from those problems the day of tomorrow? You and I. Again, because the leaders are no longer there. They are close to where they are going than where they're coming from. But you and I, we are still close to where we're coming from compared to where we're going. You don't push me to fight when I cannot count on you when the real hour comes. I shouldn't be a ludo that you can push to anything and later I'm looking stupid. I should have my own brain to think what is really here that nobody wants to talk about. Why are we all floating to one side? Always one side. I discovered one thing. I have a life story. In 2005, I was playing soccer in Spain. And I went to Sevilla Football Club for screening. And during that a month screening or so, you know, as a player or, you know, candidate or whatever, you know, you have this pass to go and watch football. So I had some big friends there then, like Marco Cola and the whole of them, who would give you pass for free and all that. So we went to watch this match. It was a derby between Sevilla Football Club and Betis. While the match was on, there was a foul play in favor of Sevilla Football Club. And a red card was issued by the referee directly. Now, watch. The guy sitting beside me wasn't watching the game going on. Because he was with his girlfriend, and they were busy kissing and kissing all through. He wasn't watching the football going on the field. So that's to tell you that he was completely ignorant of what happened that sport. But because he heard people, you know, with that kind of everybody would groan, hey, you understand? And that was the same way he, you know, left his girlfriend and followed the crowd, hey, you understand? And I looked at him like this, and he looked at me. He said, what happened? I said, you should have asked before, hey. That means he screamed that her without knowing the reason for it. That is exactly the perfect example for so many Nigerians. So many of us. So many of us are chanting, leaders are bad, leaders are bad, leaders are bad. Call the guy and say, tell me why you think leaders are bad. There is no information. It's only going to tell you no light, bad road, no good school, no good job, no this, no that. Yes, these things are true. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. But leaders are bad that we know how to chant. These are information that we've been inculcated with right from our childhood, from our parents, in most cases. Imagine a child that is growing up today and hadn't heard anything better more than, our leaders don't kill this country don't die, this one don't happen. What do you expect this child to grow up with? Because little children, they are like foam, the mattress foam. Any water that got in it, get what? Absorbed, and doesn't drop away. So whatever they hear you saying, whatever they see you doing, is what they do. So they grow up with the mentality that leaders are bad. Not that they know why you said so. And this is how the whole of us had, you know, so crimed this anthem, and it's going on and going too viral. But like I said, I'm not holding brief for anybody, for leaders or for you or for whoever. No, I'm bringing you the truth and to drive you in the direct path. That every man and every woman that want to live in a perfect society and have a dream that he or she is willing to bring to pass and has planned for its actualization, what he or she should do is to work for it. To work for it. And working for it means work hard. It means taking responsibility. We have to take responsibility to create the kind of atmosphere, the kind of society that we want to live in. How do we want this Nigeria to be or to become in the next 10 years, in the next 15 years, in the next 20 or 30 years? We should come to the table and start to negotiate that now. And another message I want to send is that I am calling on every Nigerian youth. Every Nigerian youth. I am not calling on the elders, because they are dried already in the system. The problem that the youths are facing today are not caused by the youth, are caused by our parents and our foreparents. But we have inherited this, and we are passing it to our children, and our children will pass it to another generations. And we must cut that trend now. To cause that trend requires consciousness. It requires consciousness. It requires one that is determined, that is prepared, upstairs, And we have to do it because it is falling onto us to fix up what is broken. Or one day, we will allow this country to fall into a valley of disrepair. This I have said time without number. It is not my wish to see things become this way. I want a great nation for you, for me, for our children. I want our brothers in the offshores to start seeing us as great people, as people who have changed their mindsets. A man once said that, do you want to try the ability of a black man? Two white men, they were arguing something, and they said, what do you mean? And said, you know what? Just bring out money and stretch it to a black man and ask him to do anything. He or she is ready to do it. And said, bring out banana and stretch it to a monkey and ask the monkey to do anything. The monkey is ready to do it. And said that is because if you want to hide treasure from the black, hide it in the book, because they don't like reading. That's hurtful. That's so wretched. That's completely repugnant to be described with a man. But is it the fault of the man that said so? That's the question. It is not the fault of the man that said so, but the fault of he or she that possess these word characters. Black money making, and make it fast. We have to move away from this money, and now to the atmosphere of strategizing the future of 10, of 15, of 20 years to come. That money, my grandfather had pursued it and couldn't get it, and is no longer here. My father did, and is no longer here. Is it the same thing that we should possess? Or we should look for a different mindset to bring a new thought on a new way of life? Let's begin to strategize. Let's forget money first. Let's think about name. And because we are so money conscious, that is why we have so dented the image of our dear country. That what you call corruption. And Rawlings Ogie do not call it corruption. I don't call it corruption. You know what I call it? You want to hear that? Lack of integrity. Majority of Nigerians lack integrity. It's not corruption. Because if you know what is integrity, there are so many things that you wouldn't do for the sake of good name. My father once said that good name is better than word bad riches. If you don't want a man to call you bad names and describe you as anything worse, don't do things that are bad. Keep a good name. My father-in-law, Mr. Austin Aragon, is right here, said that if you don't want fly, don't sell meat. You know what that means? If you don't want flies, don't sell meat. If you don't want to be called shithole, don't do things that will make one to call you one. If you don't want to be described as a non gratus, don't do things that look so. If you don't want to be described as a gullible folk, stop being prankful. It's simple. I choose the name I want to bear. You choose the name you want to. I chose the life I want to live. You choose the one you want to. But we have got no choice than to follow the right path, which is doing what is right at what? All time. Not in some time, but at what? All time. When you buy a sachet of water and you are able to consume the continent, which is the water inside, don't throw the sachet on the public road. Don't do that. Have some remorse. Be human a little bit. When you are able to purchase a canned water or bottled water or soft drink or whatever, and you consume it, don't throw the can or whatever on the public road or anywhere just like that. Don't do that. Whether you are in the public bus or you are in a private car, don't do that. Drop it inside your car. So you think inside your car is so beautiful to take dust, but the government road or the public road is the best place to drop your nonsense. That means you know what is good, but you don't want to do it. If not, you would have dropped it on your bed, for example. At least you have dustbin in your home. Drop it in your car. When you get home, bring it out, circulate your footmat, and drop those things in the dustbin. And be human enough to pay the what they call the lawman bill, so they can come and pick your garbage from your doorstep. Stop being hypocrites. You consume your food and everything, and you back up the garbage and take it to the roadside and dump it there when it is dark. And you are expecting who you are not paying tax to come and pick it up. With what money? With which money? Where is the money coming from? Have you asked yourself? And now, when a Cameroonian is driving that road the next day and see those heaps of garbage and nonsense you drop there, and you know the first thing they say, ha, Nigerians, very dirty people. You have given all the other Nigerians the name, because the man driving wouldn't know the name of the very individual that think very low, that dump the refuse is there. He wouldn't ask. That's not his concern. His concern is that this thing is done where? In Nigeria. By who? By Nigerians. And that involves my family, your family, the governor family, the president family, everybody. Even those that are doing it right. We have got no different name, because we have one identity. And that is also a message to those that call themselves separatists. We are under one roof, one umbrella, called Nigeria. The Niger area, the river Niger area, and those that live in the river Niger area are owners of the Niger area. That means there is no one southerner that owns Nigeria more than the westerner, and no one westerner that owns Nigeria more than the easterner, and no one easterner who owns Nigeria more than the northerner. And it's so all around. We all own this country on equal right, on equal base. And that is why I bring to your hearing that every Nigerian merit same fair share, equal right, equal right for every man. Every Nigerian ought be given the same opportunity, because there are so many people that have this quality, but they are completely undermined. Remember, Abraham Lincoln once said that nearly every man has the capacity to stand adversity, but to test a man's power, to test a man's ability or capacity, give him power. Until you are given the opportunity to shine and to do what you know how to do best, no one sees what is in you. And that is why I'm demanding upon this state, in this movement, that our lawmakers and every Nigerian should come out to march for equal right among genders. Among genders. No man is more than any woman, and no woman is more than any man. Equal right among genders. The law should provide the same right that I have as a Nigerian to my wife and to my daughter and to your own daughter. I don't want my 3 beautiful daughters to grow up in this nation where men are kings and women are slaves. Something need be done, and need be done fast. We have to acknowledge the fact. As somebody once said, he says, sir, you know, this thing you are saying, I don't know, I don't want to say no, you know, because women, you know how they are. If you give them this, they take this. If you give them that, they take this. If you give them this, they take that. Look, these are selfish talk. This selfish talk. These are species of non-gratus. Yes. That means you believe that you are the one that wouldn't take this and take that, but the women, they would take this and take that. That means you still want to remain in this demic states of you believing that you are more than one woman just because you are looking at your physical muscle. I told you the other day, the muscle of life is no longer here. It is right here. Women have it, men have it. We must stand to respect our women. Whether you are under Babylon law, or you are under Jeremiah law, or you are under, I don't know, Isaac law, every woman merits the same right with every man. Every woman. Some of you the other day sent me a message saying, why would you be saying such in this nation? Are you not a Nigerian? And I say yes. I responded. So are you not aware that there are some laws that says this and others said that? You know what? Let me tell you something. Every citizen of every nation is under one law. A nation where there is no law, no what? No life. We all have one law, and that law governs everybody. If you are not under that law, that means you are not in the same nation, in the same country. That's what it means. You cannot have 2 laws under one umbrella. You cannot. Now, If you, Mr. B, your women cannot talk, does not mean that they are happy. Because we have some who can tell us that they are not happy among us. The law should stand to give right to everybody on equal base. Is one of our message. Let us all do it right. Let's know what we have to do and how do we move this nation forward. This is our message. And this message is to the leaders, is to the people, is to every Nigerian. Every Nigerian. We cannot pretend over this for too long. We cannot. I want in 2000 the whole of you, every Nigerian right now, we are all planning and looking, oh my God, 2019, God is going to send Angel Gabriel to come and be the candidate for, to the seat of the president, and, and some angels from heaven to rule some states, and so on and forth. Now, I want to tell you something. God is done with us. God is done with us. He's absolutely done with us. He gave us all that we will ever need. He gave us brain. He created us in his own image. Everything he gave us. Even when we sinned, he gave us his own begotten son to die for our own place. He gave us grace. And in our land, Nigeria, he blessed us with countless resources. He has given us everything. So when you begin to kill yourself on prayers and fasting without ceasing, what you should be using that time for is to put what God has given you to practice. Too much prayers and fasting without taking action is wasted. It's not by prayer, it's by taking action. Nigerians had grown to this sense that you can just pray and get wealthy, and God will just throw some Ghana must go full of dollars from the sky. And that is why our students, not all of them, some, they wish to pray and go for all night instead to read to pass their exams. That is why there are so many youth today, not all, who wish not to do anything but to go to church and pray and pray and pray and fast and think that is what is going to make he or she succeed in life. Take responsibility. The white folks, they are far from our shores and they are far from where we are today. I'm talking of states of life. They're very far. The white folks, they don't do all night and pray too much like we do. If you need any nation that pray more and fast more in Nigeria and do more all night, in the world, you come to Nigeria. We over-exercise it. I'm telling you. We are the one that practice it more. That show that we are practicing it. But the truth is that thing we are practicing is far from us, because we don't know what we do. We don't know what we practice. If we know what we practice, he did not require that you should sleep there and sing and do this and do that without taking action. He said, if you know, take action. Take action. And when you begin to pray, hell, it's only God that will help us in this country. Oh, it's only God that will help us in this country. Look, that is a hopeless mind. When I see people talking that way, I look at them and I just smile. What are hopeless people? God is going to help you, or you got to help yourself. Heaven help those who help themselves. God did not say, I will help you so that you can help yourself. He said, you will help yourself first, then I will help you. There's no food for a lazy man. We've got to put everything to work. Let's change our mindset. The way we reason. Let's meet with our leaders. We're sending a message to them. We want them to sit down on a dialogue table. Whether you're a candidate to become a possible successor or whatever, or incumbent, we want them to sit down and say, let's talk, my people. This nation belongs to the whole of us, and we can make it a better place. What do you want? We will tell you. What do you want? We will tell you. What do we want you to do for us also? You will have to tell us. Then when that is met with, we negotiate. I know that we have so many things that we want our leaders to do for the betterment of this nation. But also, the people, we have so much to do for the betterment of this nation. In fact, for them to accomplish that which is expected of them, they need our cooperation. That is the message we have brought to you. Telling you with my last message that a greener pasture is not given to any man, it is in. God bless you. Thank you. So at this time, we would like to open the floor for questions and answer. Mr. Gabriel Fange will take the mic. If you have your question, please just put your hand up, and Mr. Gabriel will bring the mic to you, and I assure you that your answer will be provided. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I just want to ask, is there provision for tax paying in the country? Yeah, who do you pay tax to? Is there any provision for it? How do you pay tax? Since we're not really used to it, so how do we start paying tax to who, and any provision? Where do we go? Who do we pay to?
Maybe your first question should be, what are the provisions? Okay, if we pay our tax. Now, I want to start by saying that tax paying hadn't been a practice of Nigerians. We haven't really been practicing tax paying. We haven't. Even some states like Lagos State, where people were committed to paying tax, not really all, maybe 20%, we really don't understand the demographic of tax or yet. We haven't. Even the leaders themselves, it's not yet implemented. So tax paying is a big thing. It's a big thing. So it's not just about you working and go and pay your tax and good road and water. It doesn't end. It doesn't just end there. It doesn't just end there. There should also be provisions, which is stimulative provisions that will motivate the taxpayers. And that is, when that is really in place, you and I will be willing to pay our tax. Highly willing. All right? For example, when we refer to our, let me give an example, unemployment fee. Unemployment fee. All right? We can have unemployment fee agenda in Nigeria if we wish and if we'll understand what tax stands for. When you pay your tax, for example, you should have unemployment fee backup, in case when you lose your job, if you ever find one. All right? It means when you are sick, you will be given a free medical assistant and your family. All right? It means your school will be well equipped by the government. It means you will have a potable water, very clean. It means you will have a clean environment. All right? It means that so many things will function perfectly in your country. That's what it means. So, when we talk about tax, it doesn't mean that at the end of the month, they should come and ask you, oh yeah, bring your tax. And you bring your tax. And they go to meet Mr. Paul. Paul, oh yeah, your tax, or we beat you now. That's constituting nuisance. That's not what we're talking about. There should be system, a well-class design system, that you are earning your salary and you don't know that you are paying your tax. And who's paying your tax as a working class family? Your company, not you. But because these things are not well implemented, it's just like living in a fallow land, in farmland. That is why the CEOs, they are growing big, and the working class families are growing thin. Because those that are eating the money are the CEOs. Nothing is remitted to the government, and even if there is a remission, it's not used appropriately. So there is a real big work here. There will be creation of unemployment office or employment offices, where you go the moment you lose your job to complain and put your information down that this man loses his job so there, so there. And that those schemes, those agencies will be the one to call you and say, go to so place, you have an interview. And every Nigerian will be put to work. And everything will be functioning properly. And when you lose your job after 1 year, you have no job, you will still be earning 80% of what you were earning while you were working, until you find job again. And this will eradicate crime in our society. Because so many of us today, the moment we lose our job, we are back to square one. No backup. Because the little we are earning is not even enough to save from. So how do you make it work when you have 3 children who are asking for food? You cannot tell your little kid you don't have work. You must fix a hot plate. You cannot tell your tummy you don't have work. You must eat something. And this is why so many families have gone astray and been involved in so many kind of crimes, and just to see that they fix a hot plate for their kids or their children or themselves. These things can be done away with if the leaders and the people can understand what I'm talking about. If the need be, I've said it 2 times, I have a big write-up on how this will work. This is not just about go and pay your tax. No, it's more than that. I will pay my tax when I know what I am benefiting by doing so. And when we are talking about tithe implementation, it should be implemented on every Nigerian and everyone that live in Nigeria. Everyone, sir. Even the one with a small shop on the roadside. If you make money from Nigeria, give back from it to Nigeria. That is the same thing we practice in the church. That's the same thing, isn't it? From your 200 naira, you are giving 20 naira to the church and to the mosque. So why not do the same to your country? How's it big deal in doing that? But let it be implemented well, because those that pay tithes in the church, they also know the benefit they get spiritually. That is why they are doing it. So we should also see it the other way. So that's the answer. Thank you. I guess you're...
As for the tithes is tenth, right? Then how much do we pay when paying tax? How much? Since for the tithes is tenth of what we want. So if it's tax, how much do we pay? And how do we the lost boys get this implemented by the government?
For the first one. The last one is, how do we, the lost voice, implement this? We have no power to do such, because we are not lawmakers, we are not the leaders. We are only promoting a message. That's all. We are sending a message. We are sending a message to the top, we are sending a message to the low, to the down. So we have no capacity to implement such. We are only looking for a better environment for our family and generations to come. We know that if every Nigerian is committed to tax paying and doing what is right at all times, we will have a great nation that the whole world will envy. That is what we know, and that's what we're sending. And in case those up there do not know the best way to implement this and all the provisions, the range, the coverage, we can support if we are called. Now, coming into what the percentage tithe should be and what the percentage the offering is, or something like this, let me tell you, tithes in the scripture is the same thing as tax in the social life. So it doesn't mean that they should make it 10% tax as a levy for everybody. That's not what it means. It means that we should pay a tax to the state, to the government, to run our life perfectly. You understand? Now, the percentage that will be reached with, that is between those that are voted for that to handle such talk. I don't want to drive into what is not mine. What is mine is, let us come together to do what is right. That's all. Thank you.